All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. At this time, I will call to order the July 30, 2026 special meeting of the School Board of Charlotte County. Here in Charlotte County, we will achieve our vision of success for all through our mission to educate, inspire, and support all students to build stronger communities. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And thank you for that. Mr. Superintendent, are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, there is. We have a deletion of item J3, Crossroads Transportation Agreement.
I'll move approval of the deletion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the deletion to the agenda. Any board discussion at this time? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Mr. Superintendent, we have reports tonight.
We do, and Mr. Chair, tonight we have a very special recognition. Our report this evening is in honor of school board member Ms. Kim Amantri for her dedicated service and commitment to the students, staff, and families of Charlotte County Public Schools. At this time, I invite Ms. Amantri and all our school board members to please join me at the front of the dais as Board Chair Mr. Leclerc presents this recognition.
Test. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Kim, it's hard to believe that this is your last school board meeting. How does it feel? All right, Kim, for the past 10 years, you have served the students, families, and staff of Charlotte County Public Schools with dedication, integrity, and compassion. Your thoughtful leadership, your commitment to educational excellence, and tireless advocacy has helped strengthen our schools and impacted countless lives. We extend our deepest gratitude for your decade of faithful service and the lasting legacy you leave for future generations of Charlotte County. Kim, we'd like to present you with this plaque, and it reads, Charlotte County School Board, Kim Amantri, in grateful recognition of your exemplary leadership, unwavering dedication, and steadfast commitment to the students, staff, and families of Charlotte County Public Schools. Thank you for your 10 years of distinguished service and for building a brighter future for our community, 2016 to 2026. Thank you very much. And obviously, we wish you the best in your next endeavor and know that you will continue to be an advocate for Charlotte County Public Schools. Thank you.
Get a hug. Thank you. Now I get to say a few words. All right. So 10 years ago, when I decided to run for school board, I thought I knew what I was signing up for. I did not. I could not possibly have imagined what this job would bring. Together, we've navigated a global pandemic. We've weathered hurricanes that tested this community in ways I hope we never see again. And we did the hard, heavy work of keeping our schools safe from the threat of an active assailant. This is work that never makes headlines, but I think about it every day. Through all of it, I never once regretted saying yes to this job. It has honestly been the best professional experience of my life. And that's because of you, the people in this room, and some people who are not here today, but really you have made this the best experience of my life. To my fellow board members, I thank you. It's been a privilege to serve alongside each of you. We have not always agreed. Even this morning, we had some conversation. But we always showed up, and we always kept our eyes on what matters most, our students. To Superintendent Vianello and his leadership team, I want to thank you for your partnership. This district earned an A rating on your watch, and I could not be prouder of what we have built. I have full confidence that this board will keep pushing forward, and I trust that Governor DeSantis is going to appoint the best person for this seat. I am going to be giving this jacket up tonight, and I have a feeling that the person who will be in my seat that this jacket will be too small. That's all I will say. As I start this next chapter, know that this district will always be a part of me. Our community is only as strong as the values and education our students graduate with, and I know that the future of our county rests on the success of Charlotte County Public Schools. Again, it's been the honor and privilege of a lifetime to serve you, and I thank you all.
All right, so thank you for that, Ms. Carey. Ms. McCarthy, are there any citizens wishing to address the board tonight? All right, thank you very much. At this time, I will recess the special meeting and call to order a public hearing. Mr. Superintendent, the budget public hearing, please.
The tentative millage rates and tentative budget have been advertised and are ready for a public hearing. Chief Financial Officer Marcus Allen will now present the 2026-2027 tentative millage rates and tentative budget. Mr. Allen.
Good evening, Chairman Leclerc, Superintendent Vianello, members of the school board.
Good evening.
It's my privilege to present to you the 26-27 fiscal year tentative budget. As required by law, we'll begin the hearing with a review of the millage rates, taxable values, and tax levies. So for the 26-27 school year, we have a required local effort of 3.024 mils, a discretionary operating millage of 0.748 mils, a referendum operating millage of 1 mil, and that's a total operating millage resulting in 4.772 mils. We also have a capital outlay millage of 1.5 mils, and that brings the total local property tax millage to 6.272 mils. The state law required local effort millage rate is 3.024, and the local board millage rate is 3.772 mils. The total millage rate to be levied is less than the rollback rate by 2.56%. So as you can see, the total proposed millage rate, like I said, was the 6.272 mils, and is a decrease of 0.016 mils, which is a result of the decreasing in the required local effort. As has been the case for many years, the discretionary rate of 0.748 mils and the capital millage rate of 1.5 mils remains unchanged. In addition, we'll be continuing the 1 mil operating levy based on the passage of the referendum. As you can see, although marginal, we've once again proposed lower millage rates than the prior year. Taxable values for this year are approximately 38.66 billion. That's an increase of about 0.5%, or $182 million in the tax roll. As the chart shows, there was a large increase in taxable values after Hurricane Ian rebuilds, but that slowed to nearly flat over the last year. Our budgeted tax levies at the 96th percent are expected to yield just under $233 million. It's an increase of about $500,000 over last year. $177 million, which is operating, and that includes $37 million from the voted referendum. $55.6 million in local capital improvement taxes. And as you can see, these are marginal increases over last year, which again ties right back to the countywide property values remaining relatively flat. In this example, you'll see for every $100,000 of taxable value as determined by the property appraiser that the taxpayer's property is assessed at, they're going to be paying about $630, which is a $1.50 increase from over last year. Depending on the increase in the taxable value of the property owner's property. I base these examples on the 0.5% increase in existing property values that was certified by the property tax appraiser. Many non-homestead properties will likely see a very small increase in their tax, as shown. As a reminder, this is the 7th year in a row the school board has lowered the millage rates, so any increase in taxes are strictly driven by appreciation of property values. So as we move on to all of our funds here, our budget's broken up into 5 main parts. General fund, otherwise known as our operating fund, special revenue, debt service, capital projects, and then our internal service funds. The total budget is approximately $570 million. The exact number is $569,489,922. 47% is for our general fund. The next largest area is our capital projects fund at about 30%. 6% is our special revenue funds. That's composed primarily of federal grants and the food service program. At this time, only the food service programs reflected as federal awards are not confirmed yet, but those will be added as they're confirmed. We got more confirmations today, so. Debt service remains at 12%. This is for the repayment of bonds that we issued for buildings of schools. I'll mention a little bit more about that later. And then lastly, the internal service fund at about 5% of our budget. That's our employee health benefit programs. As has historically been the case, the majority of our revenues continue to come from local sources, and the primary local source, property tax collections. So the largest fund that we have is our general fund. As you can see, 88% of our general fund revenues come from local sources, which includes just about 6.7% coming from capital transfers. Only about 12% of our general fund comes from other sources, so state and federal sources. Full-time district equivalent students is the main driver in determining the revenue the district earns, and it's based on the Florida Education Finance Program, otherwise known as FEFP. I'll briefly go over how we're funded under the FEFP model. So this year, under the FEFP, Charlotte County is expected to have 178 more students than we had last year, of which only 14 are expected to be in traditional brick and mortar schools. We're anticipating a shift of about 255 more students to the Family Empowerment Scholarships. The next step in the FEFP model is our base student allocation. It's the primary mechanism for determining funding within the FEFP. This rate is set by the legislature every year, and the rate went up by $85 as the base rate. Once you have the base rate, you multiply it by the various program factors, and you can see that all program factors were a net result of an increase in funding per student, with the exception of our Level 4 and Level 5 ESE. The next step is to take the unweighted FTE and then multiply it by those program cost factors. That's how you calculate the weighted FTE. So the FEFP truly is the weighted FTE multiplied by the base student allocation. So for example, a middle school ESOL student is weighted 16% higher than a traditional middle school student. Historically, based upon the FEFP, Charlotte County receives fewer dollars per student from state sources than most other districts. The average district receives approximately 54.5% of their FEFP generated from state funding as of the second calc. Charlotte County receives just under 23% funding from state dollars this year. So this is just another chart representing that in dollars. So you can see the breakdown between the local and the state as dollars. And then that's broken down based on the unweighted FTE. Again, the totals versus the dollars locally and the state. Looking into the appropriations for the general fund, the two largest categories continue to be salaries and benefits. Those account for 73% of our budget. The next largest category includes purchase services. That includes items such as charter school payments, SROs, ESE contracted employees, and property casualty insurance. Another way you can look at the expenditures is to break them down by function. So approximately 58% of our expenditures are for direct instruction of students. That includes teachers, paras, textbooks, payments to charter schools, classroom supplies. The next largest function is operation of plant. That's about 12%. That includes utilities and cleaning of our schools, so custodial staff, things like that. Obviously, you see transportation, instructional staff training, curriculum development are also other factors. A final way to look at it is by the location types. So the largest category for costs is our elementary schools, which makes sense. We have more elementary schools than any other type of school. So that's about 26% of our budget. A significant amount of the special allocations that you see there include substitute teachers, textbooks, supplements. Those are all budgeted at the district level and then charged to the school for cost analysis purposes at the end of the year once the actual expenditures occur. One of the most important sources of funding for our district is the referendum that was passed in 2018, renewed in 2022, and is up for renewal again in November of this year. So this slide kind of recaps the historical expenditures and revenues of this funding source. The majority of the revenues continue to be used to fund competitive salaries and benefits for our employees, ensuring that we're able to retain talented individuals. This has helped us be number 6 for average teacher pay and number 8 for starting teacher pay in the state. So this chart shows the annual beginning, ending, and changes in fund balance over the past several years. So the gray bars represent the change in fund balance. When the gray bar is sitting on top of the gold bar, that means we've spent less that year than in revenues that we collected. So this board has once again been able to approve increases in employee salary and benefits to start the year. We fully budget for these costs, so in anticipation that we'll spend down some of the fund balance that we've accumulated over the past couple years. That's based in part from salary and benefit lapse when there's unfilled positions throughout the year. We anticipate utilizing some more of our fund balance, but we have an estimated ending result of a 10.1% fund balance ending of June 2027, which puts us in a really healthy spot. So the next largest fund we have is our capital fund. This coming year, we're expecting about $55.7 million in capital improvement funds. So that's actually only an increase of about $150,000 from last year. Capital projects are divided into 4 major groups: facility maintenance and repair, furnitures and equipment, transfers to debt service, and new construction. The largest component of the facility maintenance and repair projects. As you know, we've done significant construction projects across the district the past several years, as well as many facility repairs and upgrades. As we've modernized many of our facilities, it's natural that our budget for new projects begins to wind down and just continue towards the maintenance of those facilities. So the last slide here, which I see a typo that I made, is for our next final budget hearing, which I believe is, what is that date that we will be advertising for? September 8th of 26. So September 8th of 26 at 5:30 here at this board office. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Allen. Are there any questions from the board at this time? All right, thank you, Mr. Allen.
All right.
Ms. Carey, Ms. McCarthy, are there any citizens who wish to address the board regarding the 2026-27 tentative millage rates and tentative budget? All right, thank you very much. If there are no objections, I'm going to close the public hearing and resume the special meeting. Mr. Superintendent, the action on the budget public hearing, please.
School board action is required to meet the truth in millage, better known as TRIM, timeline to inform the property appraiser of the proposed millage rates for the TRIM notices to taxpayers. Tonight's school board action will set the maximum millage which may be levied for the year. The school board may reduce the millage rate at the final public hearing in September, but may not increase it. I will now read into the record the tentative millage rates for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. District required local effort, 3.024 mills. Capital outlay, 1.5 mils. Discretionary operating, 0.748 mils. Additional voted operating millage, 1 mil. The total millage rate to be levied is less than the rollback rate by 2.56%. Board, I'm recommending approval of the resolution adopting the tentative millage rates for the Charlotte County School Board for fiscal year 2026, 2027.
So moved.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution adopting the tentative millage rates for the fiscal year 2026-27. Any board discussion?
I would just like to point out to anyone listening, I've been on the board for 12 years. That is a lower millage rate with a referendum than when I started on the board 12 years ago. So we've done more with less millage-wise over all this time, and yet this district has managed to come to an A district. So kudos to everybody involved with managing those dollars for this time, that we're able to do this for the public and keep those rates that low.
All right, thank you, Mr. Seeger. Anyone else for comments or discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Superintendent, we have the tentative budget next.
I am recommending approval of the resolution adopting the Charlotte County School Board's tentative budget for the fiscal year 2026-2027 in the amount of $569,489,922.
So moved. Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve a resolution of the Charlotte County School Board adopting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026-27. Any discussion?
I do have a few things I'd like to say about this budget. I've been hearing a lot in the news lately, a lot of misinformation about our budget, and I know that Claudette Smith is going to do her best job possible to present the accurate information to the public, but it does not always make its way into the newspaper the way that it should. I'll just say that. So I'm going to piggyback on what Mr. Seeger said and just highlight a few numbers here, which may seem repetitive because I know that Mr. Allen has said all these things, but it bears repeating again. Our millage rate is going down again this year to 6.272. At the same time, per student funding increased by less than 0.1% this year. The FEFP, Florida Education Finance Program, increased by $3 million, but what's important for people to know is that $2.7 million of that is going to scholarships. It is not coming to this district. Our actual increase in the FEFP is only $300,000. Over the last decade, our average annual increase has been 3.44% in student funding. Those are not large increases, as Mr. Seeger pointed out. This budget reflects discipline, not excess. Despite that tight growth, we have managed to raise teacher and staff pay to the point where our starting teacher salary ranks in the top 10 in Florida. That did not happen by accident. It happened because our community voted for the Yes for Success referendum. And because these dollars are overseen by an independent citizens committee, our community knows that they can trust us that if they vote yes for that, we are going to use that to keep the salaries competitive. It also allows us to build out our workforce programs and keep guardians and SROs in every school. I also want the public to understand the full scope of what this budget covers. We're not just funding students in our traditional public schools. That budget that Mr. Allen presented includes charter school students, scholarship students, homeschool students. In total, our budget touches 18,601 students countywide, though the district is only directly responsible for 14,398. This budget is about accountability to the taxpayers of this community and providing transparent information. Repeating again what Mr. Marcus said, we are maintaining a 10% reserve fund. That is one of the highest in the state, and it's through making responsible, disciplined decisions. We've been able to allocate our resources with a focus on our schools, and the results have proven themselves with that A grade. And I want to thank the superintendent and our CFO for your diligent work in allocating these resources to benefit our students.
All right, thank you, Ms. Amonte. Any more discussion? All right, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Thank you. At this time, I will recess the special meeting and call to order a public hearing. Mr. Superintendent, the public hearing on school board policies, please.
We have 10 policies this evening which were updated as part of the Neola process to comply with state and federal law. These policies were reviewed at the June workshop as advertised. I will now refer to you, Mr. Chair, for any questions the board may have regarding the public hearing.
All right, thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Do we have any questions at this time? All right, Ms. Carey, Ms. McCarthy, any citizens wishing to address the board regarding policies? All right, thank you. If there are no objections, I am going to close the public hearing and resume the special meeting. So, Mr. Superintendent, back to you for the action on the public hearing.
I'm recommending adoption of the policies as advertised.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to adopt the policies by the superintendent as advertised. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. All right, the consent agenda is next, Mr. Superintendent.
We have 18 routine items on the consent agenda, which were reviewed in our individual meetings. I'm recommending approval of our consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. The action agenda, Mr. Superintendent, the first item is the school bus runs, please.
The Transportation Department will begin the 2026-2027 school year running 85 buses. The bus runs will be adjusted as new students enroll and ridership is balanced, and I am recommending approval of the 2026-2027 school bus runs.
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the school bus runs. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Mr. Superintendent, we have an agreement next.
District Operations is requesting school board approval of the subordination agreement for Deep Creek Community Church Incorporated as submitted. I'm recommending approval of this agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Deep Creek Church Incorporated. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. The next item is a reading plan, Mr. Superintendent.
Per requirements set forth by the State Board of Education, the Division of Learning requests approval of the 2026-2027 District K-12 Comprehensive Evidence-Based Reading Plan. I am recommending approval of our reading plan.
So moved.
Second.
All right. And we have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-27 District K through 12 Comprehensive Evidence-Based Reading Plan. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Next up, we have the Student Progression Plan. Mr. Superintendent, please.
Student Progression Plan establishes the requirements for student progression, promotion, acceleration, grading, graduation, and related academic policies for Charlotte County Public Schools. I am recommending approval of our Student Progression Plan.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-27 Student Progression Plan. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Mr. Superintendent, we have the Mental Health Allocation Plan.
Division of School Support is seeking approval of the Mental Health Allocation Plan as submitted. I am recommending approval of our Mental Health Allocation Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the Mental Health Allocation Plan. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. The next item is the scholarship fee pricing. Mr. Superintendent.
Approval is requested of the Charlotte County Public Schools scholarship fee pricing for the 2026-2027 school year. And I am recommending approval of the scholarship pricing.
So moved. Oh,
Second.
All right, very good. We have a motion and a second to approve the scholarship fee pricing. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Our last item is the personal action. Mr. Superintendent.
Mr. Chair, this is the personnel action, including supplements and job descriptions. And before I make the recommendation to approve, I would like to introduce some VIPs that we have in the audience with us tonight. Board, you know that teachers make the biggest impact when it comes to student achievement. They're number one. Number two, our principals and our administrative staff. So tonight, I am pleased to recommend to the board, we have 5 wonderful administrators that will be on the front lines helping our schools achieve, helping our students achieve success this year. So we have an assistant principal, Miss Miranda Lida, assistant principal at Murdoch Middle School. Miranda, please wave or stand up. We have Mr. J.R. Prost, coordinator of Early Learning. J.R. We have Miss Nicole Dable, recommended for principal of Myakka River. Recommended for Neil Armstrong, Miss Matina Pulliam. And last but not least, recommended at Punta Gorda Middle School, Miss Amanda Sanford. And with that, Board, I am recommending approval of the personnel action as submitted.
So moved.
Second?
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve personnel action supplements and job descriptions. Any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
and those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. Congratulations. All right, we're at that time already. Mr. McKinley, any comments?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you very much. And Mr. Seeger, we'll start off with you tonight.
Well, I'd welcome you all here, but you've all been here for a while, but we're glad to have you in your new positions. And as you well know, we tend to get out and about, so we'll be there to see you on a regular basis. We're looking forward to the exciting time coming forward with all of you. 9 days, I think, we've been into year-round school. Not year-round, but the other option. And it's good to see them back in action. We saw some of those principals this morning, and none of them were crying, so that was a good thing. And we're about, 2 weeks away from full bore with us and back to it. So we're glad to get back to it and be happy to get back involved with all of the young people and the teachers. Mrs. Amantri, it seems like yesterday I was making a phone call from the program that brought you forward into this, if I remember right. And you were kitchen. I think you were cooking in the kitchen that night when we made that call. And you've been a credit to us throughout your 10-year tenure. And all I can say is I'm going to miss the sparring sessions. Because you've always kept me on my toes, and I've been a better board member because you've made sure that I've been a better board member, and we thank you for your 10 years of service.
Thank you, Mr. Seeger. And Vice Chair Atkinson, you're up.
So I want to say, well, first of all, this morning we had the Chamber of Commerce had a great new teacher breakfast where we welcomed, I think it was 95 new teachers, and also the business community that came out and supported them. That was a great event, so thank you to the Chamber and everybody that came out and sponsored new teachers. Kim, so we came on together, and I have learned a lot from you. I have learned a lot from you, and I will miss you sitting there. And the students and this whole community has benefited from you being on the board. So that's all.
And thank you, Ms. Atkinson and Ms. Amantri.
I don't know that I have much to add, except that I'll be sitting in a different seat for this next school year. But just know that whatever seat I'm sitting in, I'm going to be cheering everybody on, because I know that you're going to accomplish great things.
And once again, for the last time, thank you, Mrs. Amantri, for your service. I did not have the opportunity to work with you as long as the other board members, but I can tell you, you really took me under your wing and kind of showed me the ropes, which coming from the classroom or the building was totally different. So I appreciate everything you've done to help me to be a better board member. And I wish you the best in your next endeavor. And I'm sure you'll continue to cheer for Charlotte County Public Schools. So thank you for everything. All right, I don't want to skip Miss Reynolds, but I almost did. So you're,
I was like, am I in trouble? Do I not get to talk tonight? Yeah, so I wanted to say, best of luck as we head into school. I think we have like a week and a half left until our kids go back. I know as a parent, I'm counting down. I can't wait for them to be in school all day and stop eating all my food all day long. And I'm looking forward to next week at our back to school bash with all of our instructional staff so we can celebrate the huge win for our district of being an A district. So it's going to be a great day. All right, so Ms. Amontri, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to say to you tonight in your last meeting, and I'm going to try not to cry as well. And I was going through everything I could say about you and our time together, and I remembered that a few years ago I wrote a nomination letter for you for the Florida School Boards Association to sit on their executive board. And I went back and I read it, and it says everything that I'd want to say. So I'm just going to read that letter tonight for everybody to hear what I had to say about you 2 years ago, and it's still true today. So, dear Florida School Board Association Nominating Committee, I am writing to support my esteemed colleague, Kim Amontri, for a leadership position on the Executive Committee of the Florida School Board Association. Having worked closely with Ms. Amontri for several years on the Charlotte County School Board, I can attest to her unwavering dedication to the advancement of education and improving the lives of our students and community. Throughout her 7-year tenure on the Charlotte County School Board, Kim has consistently demonstrated a commitment to advocating for the needs of our students and addressing the challenges facing our educational system. Her depth of understanding regarding the intricacies of education policy has been instrumental in advocating for positive change within our community. I've had the privilege of collaborating with Kim on various initiatives aimed at enhancing student outcomes, both locally and at the state level. Her adeptness at building strong relationships with key stakeholders, including local and state officials, underscores her effectiveness as a leader and advocate for public education. I am confident that her proven track record of advocacy and her ability to navigate complex issues will greatly benefit the Florida School Board Association. Kim's passion for student success and her tireless dedication to advancing educational initiatives make her an exemplary candidate for a leadership role within the organization. Her extensive experience and expertise will undoubtedly contribute to the continued success of the Executive Committee and further the mission of the Florida School Board Association. And then I go on and just say you basically give her the job. All that is true. It is still true. And whatever comes next for you, I know you'll take that same passion and dedication that we've seen here the last 10 years with you, and you'll translate that into whatever your next step is. So we're going to miss you, and best of luck in everything you do.
and thank you, Mrs. Reynolds. Before I hand it over to the superintendent, I want to take a moment to brag because, first of all, congratulations to our new administrative team. But I want to brag about the fact that I actually hired 2 of the ones that we recognize tonight. So Miranda I hired at Port Charlotte Middle School and Matina at Meadow Park Elementary School. So congratulations once again, and it's no surprise that you're sitting in these new seats, so congratulations. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Mr. Superintendent.
The Mr. LeClaire pipeline here in Charlotte County. So, no, Mr. Seeger, none of our principals were crying, our year-round principals. I can attest to that. 2 weeks ago today, our year-round school started, so they have been in school for 2 weeks, and I'd like to officially now welcome back our faculties and our students at Peace River East Elementary School and Sally Jones. They have had a wonderful first few weeks of school, and Ms. Atkinson, I'd like to comment as well. This morning I thought was absolutely fantastic. You know, traditions. It's amazing how many years the Chambers has put on this event. It was just amazing. Bob Bedford and his staff put it on. It was wonderful today. I know teachers will come back tomorrow. Roughly 95 new teachers, and boy, they just looked energetic and they looked ready to go. And I think we've got a really, really good group coming in to help us here in Charlotte County. And so next Monday, all of our teachers come back. And then next Tuesday, Ms. Reynolds, like you mentioned, we'll have all of our teachers, our principals, administrators will be in the event center. We're going to have a great time celebrating, kicking off this year, but also celebrating last year's success. And finally, Ms. Amontri, I'd like to say my public goodbyes to you as well. You know, I think one of the best compliments you can give a teacher is to say, I would want my child in their class. I would trust my most prized possession in this teacher's class. And kind of using that same analogy, I would trust my kids, I would trust my grandson to be in a school system where you are a school board member. Over the 3 years, I've known you to be a fierce advocate of academic achievement, of literacy, supporting reading, certainly workforce development, fiscal responsibility. And I think probably the best thing I could say is I know when you are making a decision, you always have the students in mind and our community, what's best for our community. So Kim, I wish you all the best of luck. I'm sure our paths will continue to cross here over the years, but I wish you all great success and the very best of luck in your future endeavors. Mr. Chair, that ends my comments tonight.
All right, thank you, Mr. Superintendent. With no further business,